So guys, welcome to At Home Fitness with Coach A. This is the YouTube channel that aims to bring you guys at home in-gym quality coaching and workouts for your at-home or garage gym needs. Now, it is Friday, December 25th here in beautiful snowy Cleveland, Ohio. Merry Christmas to everybody. We're going to get a little bit more aerobic recovery work today. There's a bunch of workouts obviously out there, over 280 to be exact. So if you guys are looking for something to get after today, by all means, find one, go for it, especially if it's one from this week you haven't done. But I'm way more concerned with you guys moving well and feeling good coming out of the holiday weekend instead of feeling like crap because we eat poorly or we get a little aggressive with our workouts, didn't do enough recovery, and really just didn't have enough time in general to spend. So today is going to be 20 minutes of aerobic work. I don't care what it is. It can be a Peloton bike. It can be a bike. You can go for a run. You can hop on a rower. You can shovel snow, right? Like it probably would take me 30 to 40 minutes to shovel out our driveway and sidewalk from what it is right now. And that would be every bit as significant aerobic work as me hopping on a rower for the same amount of time at a 60 to 70% interval or intensity rate, excuse me, or hopping on a bike, Peloton, anything along those lines. So that will still get it done. Now, here's the big thing though. Following that aerobic activity, I want you guys to do some stretch work, all right? Regain some flexibility, work on your range of motion, whatever it is. I'm gonna run you through the little setup and system I set up. It's gonna be one thing for 2 minutes each side, then a couple other things for 1 minute each side. Following that, sort of a flowing relaxation series, if you will. Feel free to hit that. We're ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit more aggressive, but still a little bit of the same time frame, same mold, so that you guys aren't getting crazy with the intensity during the holidays. One thing I tend to notice with a lot of people I've worked with over the last 10 years is that it's more likely for somebody to try and do something super aggressive on the holiday weekends because they know they're not going to be as well behaved the rest of the time, and that usually ends up creating a snowball effect. Knock on wood, yeah, snowball, like that pun. Snowball effect that rolls down the hill and makes it worse and worse and worse because then it makes it harder to get back on a steady, regular workout routine afterwards. So we're gonna try and curb that snowball by not going crazy over the next 2 days, but staying with stuff that is consistent and beneficial for us. Stick around for those stretching demos. All right, guys, after we get through with our aerobic work, let's get our stretch on here. So the first 2 minutes on each leg are going to be spent in a pigeon, or technically a half pigeon position, trying to relax and get as close to the ground as you guys can with your head, chest, and shoulders. The aim here for that upper leg, that front leg, as you can see me kind of rotating into position here, is to try and get it perpendicular to our torso, to our spine. That is very challenging for a lot of people some of the time. So we can always shift that foot back a little bit as long as we're getting, as you can see what I pointed to there, that lateral stretch in the hips and that lower back is as flat as we can get it so that the force is being applied to the outside of the hip down onto the ground. This should theoretically be a stretch where you feel like you're going to open up the rotation in your squatting position. Now, number 2 is going to be a minute each side. This is our leaning hip stretch, if you guys haven't seen it before. It's basically a hip flexor stretch. All right, so I'm in a 90-90-90 with the knees, hips to the ground. I'm in this position with the right leg back, squeezing the right butt cheek, leaning into that hip flexor a little bit, and reaching my arm up overhead on the same side as the hip flexor. You can do both if you want, but that's going to put a little bit of stretch in the abdomen and help open up the front side of the hips there. The next one, again, a minute each side, is going to be a child's pose. So this is what a normal straight line child's pose looks like. I want you to try and hit a little bit more of a lateral lat stretch here. So one way to do it is to put the hand across, hold it down, and then try and pull your hips back to that symmetrical position so you're stretching through one lat more than the other. Another way you guys can do this is to grab a prop like a chair, a table, something along those lines, and try and get yourself into a similar position. It's not going to be as much of an opening for the hips, but you are going to be able to leverage into the lat stretch, that side torso stretch a little bit more there. Similar to how you might do it if you anchored a band to a pull-up bar, wrapped it around your wrist, and then step back into elongated side and lat stretch. Now, next one is going to be a pec stretch. 2 ways of doing this. You guys can drop down flat on the ground, put one arm out to the side, 90 degrees, push across with your other arm and rotate those hips through. Now, there's a good position and there's everything else in that position, right? We're trying to get a nice, smooth, easy stretch in the pecs, not super aggressive. We can also do this with a door jam or something along those lines. Notice the elbow in line with the shoulder. Me sinking straight forward. That's going to be the one of two versions of this. The straightforward one is going to allow you to hit the bigger part of your pec. That rotational one, for me personally, I find it easier if I extend the arm here and get that rotational stretch, is going to hit the smaller muscle in your pecs. So don't assume that those are doing the same thing. One works major, one works the minor a little bit more. So both possibly worth hitting in the same minute there. Now the last thing we're going to do is a little bit more active. We're going to hit a lunge, rotate out of it. You guys can put the back knee down behind you if you want and rotate. You can lift it up and rotate. You can leverage through the front knee and rotate, or pretty much any other rotation you guys want to create here. I would suggest trying to get through a minute straight each side, but you can always switch it up. Maybe do 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds if you want.